plain Jane. Lamborghini chain, rest in peace to my superior. Hermes, like a feeder village in Liberia. TMZ taking pictures, call that my hysteria. Mama see me on BT and start tearing up.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another What If story. Today we are going to be covering What If Bardock was born with Broly's potential, with part 1 of the series. But before we begin, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the content. It'll only motivate me to continue doing more content. In the description below, I have all of my social media links, my Instagram account, and my gaming channel, where I play mini games, and I've also created a Discord server as well. So if you want to interact with me, get updates and more, then check that out. But with all of that said, let's begin. This story will start on planet Vegeta. In this timeline, Bardock will be born with an extraordinary high power level of 10,000. However, this doesn't change anything, since, well, Frieza doesn't take over the planet until well after Bardock is an adult. And as an adult, Bardock was already at a power level of 10,000, so there wouldn't be much changes there. However, there's one thing that does change. Since Bardock is the one to have the potential of a mutant Saiyan, Broly will not be sent off planet. However, there won't be any other changes until Bardock goes on a mission to take over Planet Cereal. On Planet Cereal, Bardock does save Granola just like in canon. However, things change when Bardock battles against Gas. Bardock will be tossed around by Gas in his rage form, pushing Bardock to his limits. Gas will defeat Bardock and the Saiyan will be barely able to get up. Monaito will want to use the Dragon Balls to make Bardock immortal, but Bardock will yell at Monaito, "Hey, don't do that! Bardock, you're barely able to get up. That is none of your concern. Worry about yourself. I don't need you worrying about me. However, if there is a wish I can make, I would make this one wish. I wish I had the power to let my children live a good life." Monaito will tell Tarambo the wish, and the dragon's eyes will glow before Bardock's aura turns yellow, and Bardock will yell, unleashing a large explosion from his aura, sending Gas back. Bardock would yell as the Nazaru roar is heard, and Bardock's hair will spike up, his eyes will go yellow, and Bardock will yell once again, unleashing the Akari form for the first time. Bardock will eye down Gas and step forward to the heater. Then Rage Heater will rush at Bardock, but the Saiyan will just tank the attack before kicking the heater away, dealing a massive blow to the heater. Bardock will yell with his aura turning from just yellow to green as Bardock's potential increases. Bardock has just unleashed the Akari form, and because of Bardock's potential increasing and his rage, instead of the Akari form just being a 10 times boost, is going to become a 20 times boost. So instead of Bardock's power level being 100,000, it will be at 200,000. Gas will continue trying to beat Bardock, but the Saiyan is just overpowering Gas, not giving Gas a chance to breathe, as Bardock just slams Gas to the ground. The whole planet will shake, just from the sheer force of the attack. Elec will be worried, thinking this might be a bit worrisome, as Elec, Oil, and Maki gets into a ship and escape the planet, not wanting to be caught in any destruction. The planet will withstand, basically leaving Gas to die. Gas will recover from the attack and kicks Bardock in the stomach, but Bardock's feet to the ground will only deepen as Bardock grabs Gas and uses a mouth beam, sending the attack at the heater, getting rid of the heater instantly, sending the heater all the way to the sun. The heater was not able to withstand the attack, so even though Bardock doesn't see his body, it's safe to say that the heater is defeated. Bardock will yell, his power not stopping. As it continues to grow, but with no enemy to face, Bardock's eyes will set on a panicking Monaito. The Namekian will think of running, quickly grabbing Granola, but Bardock's eyes will go from Monaito to the child Granola, and Bardock will be reminded of his newborn Kakarot, and Bardock's eyes will go back to normal. Bardock will fall to his knees, and Monaito will go to Bardock, asking him if he's okay, and if he's really back to normal. Bardock will ask what happened, and Monaito will ask Bardock if he remembers what happened, and Bardock will tell the Namekian that he does. He just can't believe he was able to do it. "That power I've unleashed, it felt like the power of an Nazaru. However, that power was far stronger than a Nazaru power. Like somehow, the rage I felt in that moment while battling Gas, as I unlocked that transformation, it seems like my rage boosted my power even more." But you also didn't have control of yourself when you were using that power for an extended period of time. "That's true. I have to get a hold of this power if I want any chance of defeating Frieza. How about we use a Dragon Ball to get you control of this power?" "No." "As that might work, yes. My pride as a Saiyan will not allow that to happen, which means I have to master this power by my own merit. How do you plan to get enough power to defeat Frieza? I have no idea. However, my power is increased since that battle against Gas. My power level before my battle was around 10,000, but now I feel like my power is multiplied by 5 times. Maybe if I participate in more battles, I'll be able to get strong enough to defeat Frieza once and for all. Some time will pass and Bardock does send off Kakarot to the planet Earth, just like normal, still having a bad feeling. Frieza kills King Vegeta like normal before he makes his way to planet Vegeta. Bardock will look up, seeing some Frieza soldiers arrive on the planet. Bardock will tell Gine that he'll be right back. He'll deal with Frieza as he rushes to the Frieza soldiers and takes them out one by one, and he'll reach his way to Frieza faster than normal, since he is faster than in canon, thanks to his higher power level. The Dodoria and Zarbon will actually have to get in the way to stop Bardock from getting to Frieza, telling the Saiyan that this is the furthest he is going to go, but Bardock will tell the two to get out of his way as he rushes at Dodoria and Zarbon and begins fighting them at the same time. At this time, Frieza is powering up a supernova. Even though Bardock has a higher power level, to his knowledge, Bardock stands no chance against his power level of 500 to 30,000. Bardock will fight both Dodoria and Zarbon at the same time, and he is actually able to hold his own against them both. However, this isn't easy, since Dodoria and Zarbon, being in the Frieza Force for years, does have good unity, being able to fight well together against Bardock, so the Saiyan is sent to an asteroid before he sees Dodoria and Zarbon send an attack at him. Bardock will look to Frieza, who's also powering an attack. Bardock will then look to Planet Vegeta, thinking of Gine and Raditz, before thinking of Verf and Kakarot. Bardock's hair will spike once again, and his eyes will go yellow as his aura goes green. Bardock would yell, destroying the asteroid and deflecting the attacks from Dodoria and Zarbon. Bardock will then stare down the two, before split blitzing them and kicking Dodoria's head off. Zarbon will grab Bardock and bear hug him, but Bardock will yell, exploding his aura, breaking free before punching Zarbon in the chest and sending an attack through him. Bardock will then eye down Frieza, who is in shock. Frieza, this is where your leadership over the Saiyans comes to an end, because I'm taking you out for good. Oh please, you might have defeated my 2 right-hand men, but you don't come close to fighting me. Well, I guess we'll just have to see about that. Bardock will power up and find a Revenger, sending the attack at Frieza's attack, and to Frieza's shock, the attack actually challenges his own. Frieza will try to push the attack back, but Bardock's power just continues to grow, and he yells, overpowering Frieza's attack and sending him back. Frieza will recover and will be shocked. This Saiyan was actually able to deal damage to him, but Frieza would yell to Bardock that he will pay, but before Frieza was able to react, Bardock was already above him, sledgehammering him in the head, sending him to his ship. The Emperor will recover, and he'll look up to see Bardock flying down to him. Bardock's foot will hit the ship, and once it does so, the whole part of the ship explodes. Before Bardock yells, surging his power, sending pressure through the area of space the strongest person in the universe so far is standing in. Bardock will step closer to Frieza, each foot that hits the ship of Frieza destroying parts of it. Frieza will step back, telling Bardock to wait, let him power up to his final form. He'll give him a better fight that way. Usually Bardock wouldn't go for this, and agree. However, this newfound power is clouding him, and he's a bit cocky. Plus, this is the first time he heard of Frieza having other transformations, so Bardock actually decides to allow Frieza to show his transformation, telling Frieza that he'll only give him one chance to show off his full power, and one chance only. Frieza will take this opportunity to power up, going into his final form, boosting his power, and Frieza being cocky will only start off at 60% power. Bardock will yell, rushing at Frieza and punching him, sending him flying. Bardock will then kick Frieza in the back before he sends another blast at Frieza, creating a huge explosion. The smoke will clear. However, Frieza will be unfazed, telling Bardock that he's the strongest Saiyan that he's ever seen. However, he's nowhere near his power. Frieza will death beam Bardock's chest, making him spit out blood, and Frieza will chuckle, death beaming Bardock repeatedly, before Bardock starts to drop back down to the planet Vegeta. However, Frieza will send a death blow at Bardock, aiming to destroy Bardock along with the planet. However, Bardock will just remain in his mind, thinking about his mission on planet Sirio. He thinks about all of the Saiyans on the planet Vegeta, Gine, Raditz, and Kakarot on planet Earth. His family. He's been fighting for his family's survival, and for his family to thrive. Bardock's hair will spike back up, and Bardock will catch himself. No, I came so far just to lose now. I won't lose. I got too many things to fight for. Bardock's eyes will go from yellow to blank before Bardock's aura turns from green to a yellowish green. Bardock will yell, countering the death ball, shocking Frieza as he yells, "What the hell just happened?" However, the smoke will clear and Bardock will be standing in place with his hair yellow and his eyes blink, unlocking the Super Saiyan transformation on top of his Akari form.